Hi folks, this is Shah and we are going to talk about an interesting topic, a very frequently asked question. What kind of questions and how is the immigration officers at the airport will treat me, right? And whenever you enter the airport, you will get a bunch of questions. First of all, you will be standing in the line, and everybody who went to an airport knows that. And then you will go to the counter. In America, there are some specific questions which I see also in other countries, but this video can be used pretty much for all over the world. But since I'm an immigration lawyer in the United States, I'm going to limit myself to the United States. The primary interview, which we call the basic interview at the airport, is very interesting because they are simple questions usually, right? And simple answers will do. But before we get into the questions, please see the little thing below, subscribe, please subscribe to that, and like and share the video with your friends. So we have some issues when it comes to the airport if they have any kind of suspicion on you, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's go over the first basic questions. The basic question, of course, is that they will ask you for your passport, and of course just show the passport. Here, officers, my passport. And second, basically they usually ask how long will you be staying in the United States, and you just tell them the truth. If your ticket is saying you have to leave in 3 weeks, you're not going to tell them you're going to stay here for 2 months, okay? Because at the airport, when they will give you your I-94, which allows you to stay in the United States, it's usually for 6 months if you come on a visitor visa. And if you come on an H-1B, etc., that's a different story. But I'm talking here in general questions, right? I will go over each visas in separate videos, but here we're going to get general ones. So basically, someone's coming on a tourist visa, for example. They ask a question: what are you going to come and do here? Of course, you're coming here to visit, right? To enjoy the United States, the great United States. And of course, other questions, possible questions, they might ask you, what is your profession, right? Now at this point, if you tell them you're unemployed and you're coming on a visitor visa, that's going to raise some suspicion that you're coming here to work or things like that. So be very careful, because you are not allowed to work on a visitor visa. Now, if you're a student, of course, you say, I'm going to come here to study and things like that. That's a different story. Now, the other question that they usually ask is, are you traveling alone, or you're traveling with family or friends or anybody else? If you're traveling with other people, make sure you mention who you're traveling with, and how are they related to you. If you are traveling with your wife, you say, I'm traveling with my wife, so and so name. I'm traveling with my father, I'm traveling with my daughter, you name it, right? But just make sure you answer that question. And a frequently asked question under the B1, B2 visa, especially for visitors: where are you going to live? Well, if you're living with friends, you give the address of the friend. If you're living in a hotel, you give the address of the hotel and show your bookings if possible, if they ask you. The other question they ask you also is, have you ever been to the United States before? Well, if you have been, then yes, of course, you mentioned you have been, when, and they might, hopefully you are not deported from the United States, but they will probably know about it. When they ask you where you stay, like I said, if you have a hotel booking, just go ahead and do the hotel booking. And how are you paying for your stay? Well, if you are paying with your credit card, with your bank account, you tell them. They don't really usually ask those questions, right? And the last question, well, I think I mentioned that they might ask you how long you're planning to stay. You need to mention how long. Now, this is the tricky part. If you have any problems, or they have any doubts, or you have some kind of criminal convictions, you will go into something called a secondary inspection. A secondary inspection is when the CBP, the Custom Border Patrol officer, will take you on the back and ask you a bunch of questions. That doesn't mean you're not going to be allowed inside the United States, but it takes more time and they will ask a lot of more invasive questions. I'm not going to go into details on that, but I'll talk about it on another video. But right now we're talking about the basic questions of visiting the United States or even coming on a student visa or other visas, how you should, what kind of things you're going to expect there. So if you need any help, feel free to reach out to us, 510-742-5887. And also visit our YouTube channel and subscribe to it, and our website, piratilaw.com. Thank you. We'll be back with another video soon.